The Iron Revenant mod has just come to consoles and it is an incredible frontline melee based subclass mod class I should say, to use in Baldur's Gate 3, so we're going to go over it level by level, combat tutorial, all the items you could ever need. So of course we start with the Iron Revenant. Now the Iron Revenant gets Darkness Rise, so your attacks deal 1 to 4 necrotic damage bonus. After damaging an enemy, deal 1 to 4 necrotic damage every turn in a 3-meter radius. We get superior dark vision, so we can see in the dark up to 24 meters. Destiny, Domination, Deceit. You gain proficiency with heavy weaponry and you cannot be disarmed. We also get Battle Axe, Club, Great Axe, Great Club, Great Sword, Mace, Warhammer, and Maul proficiencies. Now when it comes to your first level spells, I would take Shield, so we've got a nice reactionary based spell to avoid taking damage, and Burning Hands, so this is just a really good fire-based spell that I think works very well at the start of the game. For your ability points, I would have 16 Strength, 14 Dexterity, 16 Constitution, 10 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, and 8 Charisma. For your proficiencies, take what you feel like. And we move on to level 2. Level 2 gives us Death's Grasp. Pulls an enemy or object in the 4 meter towards you. Really awesome way of pulling enemies towards you to tank the battlefield. We also gain a spell, and for this one we're going to take Hex, nice little concentration spell to give us extra damage, and it's a bonus action. The Iron Revenant level 3 brings Obliterate. Strike an area and deal extra 1 to 4 necrotic damage. So as you can see, the Iron Guardian is all about that necrotic damage. Tyrant's Orders, so jump to an ally in range and grant them 1d4 temporary hit points. Grants Indestructible to chosen ally. Indestructible is the 1d4 as you can see here. As well as Misty Step to help us get around the battlefield. We gain one more spell, and for this one I would come in here and I would take Ray of Sickness. And the Iron Revenant level 4 brings Indestructible. Heal yourself and gain 1d6 temporary hit points. We also gain a new spell and a feat. Now for the spell I would take Hold Person. This spell is incredible because any creatures that are held, melee attacks on them within 3 meters are always critical hits. So you can completely wipe out a battlefield and nullify it instantly. Now for your feat, we are going to take our strength all the way up to 18. And that brings us to the Iron Revenant level 5, which is Kessa's Decree. Taunt nearby enemies into attacking you. Really, really good way to just control the battlefield. This is the typical taunt for other RPGs with the warrior to pull everyone towards you. Now we gain one more spell, and for this one I would take False Life, and you'll see this come more into play later on. And then we get a Path of Domination. You can either go offensive or defensive. Now for offensive, this Iron Revenant has chosen the offensive path. We lose AC, but Obliterate will cost souls instead of an action. Whereas defensive, gain AC and HP, Kessa's Decree will cost a bonus action instead of an action. I prefer this one. I like the idea of being able to taunt, having enemies come towards you, and then you can just attack them. The Iron Revenant level 6 brings Dominion. Summon a familiar that will aid you in combat, will become a stronger familiar at higher levels, and this lasts until long rest but costs 3 souls. We gain one more spell. For this one I would take Knock, helps us just get into locks. Level 7 brings Grave Knight, so we gain resistance to necrotic and radiant damage. We gain one more spell, and for this one I would come in here and take Poison Spray. Level 8 brings our next feat and Undying. You can defy death. Instead of dying, you regain 50% of your health. Incredible. We gain one more spell as well, and for this one we are going to take Blight. And then for your ability improvement, take your strength all the way to 20. Iron Revenant level 9 brings Immortal Bastion. Stop a spell from being cast if you have temporary health. This acts as a counterspell. Costs 2 souls, but temporary health, false life, nice way of being able to just have counterspell for nothing. Now we gain one more spell, and for this one I would personally take something like Inflict Wounds, because you can upcast this and it's incredible damage dealer. Level 10 brings the Realm of Death. So create an area in which enemies are blind, have disadvantage and take damage at the end of their turn and the start of it. This is essentially the Hunger of Hadar, but instead of cold and acid, it's necrotic and acid. An amazing spell. We gain one more spell here, and we are going to take Hold Monster. And then we get another Path of Domination. We can either go offensive again, or we can go defensive. For this one, I do quite like the idea of taking the offensive path for this bit, but if you want to double down on defense, you could. Iron Revenant level 11 brings the Aura of Oblivion. Enemies near you, within 9 meters, are vulnerable to necrotic and bludgeoning damage. One more spell, and for this one I do like Minor Illusion. And then the final level, level 12, we get our last feat and the Globe of Invulnerability, which is a great spell to have. Now we gain one more spell, and for this one I would just take Vampiric Touch. And then for your feat, we're going to take Great Weapon Master. We want that solid 10 damage for the -5 attack penalty, and when we land a critical hit or kill a target with a melee weapon attack, we can make another one on our bonus action. Okay, let's go over our gear, and we start with Savrok's Horned Helmet. We do not care about the Deathbringer's Sight because of the Dark Vision, we already get it. What we do want is the reducing our critical to a 19. Dauntless, so we can't be frightened or afflicted with other emotion-altering conditions, and Constitution saving throws +1. For a cloak, we're going to take the Flesh Melter Cloak, so if we take melee damage, the attacker will take 1 to 4 acid. The Blackguard Greaves to give us Long Strider and Athletics +1. The Helldusk Armor, because in my opinion this is the best tanking armor in the game. When we succeed at a saving throw, the caster will take Burning for 3 turns. We also gain resistance to fire damage, so it's now resistance to fire, necrotic and radiant, cannot be burned, and we take 3 less damage from all sources, as well as being able to fly. We're going to take the Helldusk Gloves, so we gain a +1 to our spell attack rolls and spell save DC, and our weapon attacks deal an additional 1 to 6 fire damage. For rings, the Caustic Band, the Strange Conduit Ring, so we'll concentrate on a spell like Hex or Hold Person, we'll do an additional 1 to 4 psychic damage. The Killer Sweetheart, so when we kill a creature, our next attack will be a guaranteed critical hit once per long rest. The Moondrop Pendant, so with 50% hit points or less we won't provoke opportunity attacks. And then finally the Sword of Chaos, a great two-handed weapon that allows you to heal on a hit, as well as being infused with necrotic damage. So that is the build, let's go check it out. Okay, we are in combat, and as you can see we have 6 souls available. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cast Hex, and we'll throw a Strength on, we'll do it on Skeeve here. And now we've got a bunch of abilities we can do. We have like Bane, we've got Cleave. Essentially though, we want to just start off with some very low level stuff. So if we run in here, when it stops lagging, and a big miss to start with, well, we can do an Obliterate. So this will cost 2 souls, but we can see how much damage it will do. And as you can see, we melted the enemy.
Very well.
Now we can also target Obliterate again. We also have Soul Release. So if we come up here slightly, we potentially don't have the space to, but we could have done another Obliterate, take out some more enemies. Now you see he ran into us and took damage. He also hit us with a crit, which means he took more acid, but we've maintained our concentration. So as you see, we have our own version of Spirit Guardians, and if we move behind the enemy, we can target them as well. Now we are going to throw out some attacks, so let's throw out, when it stops lagging, another one of our Obliterates, and we'll target the enemy here. We're not going to use our Executioner, we want to see the raw damage. And as you can see, it's a crazy amount. Now we can do a basic attack as well, trigger our Executioner. Once again, we wiped out another enemy entirely. This does still free up our bonus action, so what we can do is, for example, if we had the movement, we could do a Great Weapon Master bonus action. We can do our Indestructible. We can do Tyrant's Orders. So if we do this, and we'll jump to make some space, there you go, you'll see we've given Shadowheart's temporary hit points, and now we've teleported halfway across the battlefield, and we can get in the face of this enemy too. And once again, we can use our souls for another Obliterate, and once again taking out another person. So you can use as many of your souls in one round as you want to. The only thing is, obviously, the quicker you use them, the more they'll use up. But if you have a look there, you'll see they have replenished. Now we're just slightly out of reach of this enemy, so if we were to do a rush attack, we can close the gap, just like that. You'll see they're now within our aura as well, and And once again we can pump out some obliterates. And we can keep doing this, just taking enemies out ASAP. And if we check our character, you'll see we got all our souls back and we didn't have to spend any spell slots. We could have got our Dominion to get our Familiar as well if we wanted to. And we could have had this helping us in the battlefield. As you can see, it's a pretty decent meat shield, can do bite, has an infectious bite that can do necrotic damage and all sorts. And this will just hang around until long rest. But essentially this character is just a one-man army for the battlefield, and we didn't even have to use things like the Globe of Invulnerability or anything like that. So really hope you've enjoyed the Iron... what's it called? The Iron... My mind's gone blank now. Iron Revenant mod for Baldur's Gate. A very powerful frontline melee-based attacker. If you have, let me know in the comments below what you changed about the build, other items, spells, all that fun stuff. If you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel for more. I've got more guides to Baldur's Gate, Oblivion, Path of Exile, Dragon Age, all the amazing RPGs you could ever need. And hopefully, we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.